All right, good morning, everybody. It's Monday here today, the 14th of October. We are going to get started here in just a minute. I want to make sure, as usual, everyone has enough time to log in, so we'll just give it another minute or so. If you guys can hear me okay and you can see the screen, if you can give me a quick yes in the chat box, that would be awesome. And I'm going to prepare one more quick thing for you guys here, and then we are going to get started here in just a minute or less. Okay. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Okay, let's see here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, perfect. Yeah, let's get started again. Good morning, everybody. If you are here for the first time, welcome. This is our new YouTube morning show. Thanks for showing up here this morning. This is a live broadcast, in case you're wondering. We are here Monday through Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. So that's more or less right now. And today is Monday, the 14th of October. What we are looking at here this morning is a market that continues to push higher. If you look at the futures here this morning, that's this little itty bitty chart here that I've got here. And you can see S&P futures up another 26 basis points, highs of the day. And so we continue to see this quite complacent market heading into what seems to be, still a lot more unknowns going forward, but the market doesn't seem to care, at least not yet. And we will touch on a couple of points here today. Now, looking at the calendar quickly this week, just from, to the basic sort of economic and earnings calendar. Of course, we got a lot of earnings. None today that I saw. Tomorrow, a lot more earnings. We get things like Netflix on Thursday, and so it's going to pick up here slowly but surely during the next couple of days. Economic data wise, you've got a few things that we need to keep an eye on as well. So we'll see what comes from that. But again, a market that's trading at all-time highs here this morning, up once again, and as you guys know, I've been quite concerned about the momentum in all this. Not so much the directionality, but the momentum in all this. But really, still think we will likely see some sort of a pause before the election. I think that would be good. But again, what I think ultimately doesn't matter so much. We want to respect the trend. The only thing I do want to just quickly bring to everyone's attention is, typically speaking, when we see these kind of melt-ups higher, they end abruptly. They don't end softly, right? And so that's the one thing that I would just encourage everyone to kind of be aware of. If you have positions that you've got on, particularly on the trading side, just keep in mind that those can very quickly turn into losers when the market it kind of takes a pause, because it typically stops, again, very abruptly, down 2% at the open, and then just keeps going for a few days like that. So again, this is not an end of the world call. It's really not. It's a tactical, management call, which we've been saying. And I continue to be surprised by how strong the market is here in October. I really would have thought by now we would have pulled back. Clearly, I've been wrong. That certainly happens plenty of time, right? But we're here to risk manage this stuff, so we want to make sure we stay the trend. Now, I want to go through three specific things here this morning. Number one, I want to look at a couple of trades in MSTR, one of them in Uber as well. So that's two things. And then I want to look at BlackRock and Blackstone as two financial stocks that I think are worthy to keep an eye on, because we had JP Morgan report earnings, we had BlackRock report earnings last Friday as well, and we had Wells Fargo and a couple others report numbers on Friday on the banks. We get more this week, and I think that sets up for an interesting thing here going forward. So let's start off with just the ones that I think everyone kind of wants to pay attention to. Again, these are the kind of names that I do want to caution because they can get choppy. But this is Uber. Uber was up at 10% on Friday, and they do have an earnings report coming up later on this month. In fact, on Halloween, on the 31st of October. But if all we want to do is look at this, through the lens of trading, then we can see that this is a pretty clear break. And what I'm trying to get to here in a second is the fact that this is not an anomaly. We're seeing this everywhere. We're seeing these kind of, consolidation phases followed by breakouts. And so we can draw it like this, right? That's one way to draw this. It's an inverse head and shoulders pattern, whatever, right? It's a whole bunch of things that are basically not bears. So if you look at Uber, it hasn't done a thing pretty much all year since February, and now finally is broken out. This is not the kind of stock I would want to fade or push against. Certainly what's possible is that it's going to be a breakout fake out. That's always a possibility, but I think this is a pretty decent setup here in Uber. So that's the first thing we're going to go through here. Remember, we're here for 10 to maybe 15 minutes, so we go through this quickly at a fast pace, address any questions that you might have, again, all within the matter of 10 to 15 minutes. So Uber, interesting. How high could it go? Well, one way to measure these moves in something like this is to kind of take the distance of the consolidation phase or the depth of the consolidation phase. So that would be from down here up to the line. And then what we can do is we can just kind of take that and add it on top of this. And so that could get Uber as high as 120. Do I think that's going to happen today? No. Do I think that's reasonable to happen over a few months? Yes, that's possible, but I wouldn't expect that to happen in a straight line. Again, earnings report, October 31st. That'll be important as well. So again, make sure if this is something you're looking at, that you keep in mind some of those data points. Second thing is MSTR, and of course MSTR is MicroStrategy. This is it's a software company, but more commonly known these days as a company that owns a lot of Bitcoin. Last Friday, the CEO essentially announced that they want to become a Bitcoin bank. That's sort of newsy stuff. You can read that yourself. I'm not here to regurgitate the news. That's not much value there. But I do find it interesting that, again, very much like Uber, and this is kind of the point, this stock is doing exactly the same thing. It's breaking out. It's coming out of this consolidation phase, which we, again, I just drew it for you in Uber. It's really no different here. And if you were to look at price targets on this one, just like we did on Uber, you would again take the distance of this consolidation phase and you would add it, or at least that's what I'm doing here, is adding it on top of that, and that could get the stock up to 390. Again, that's not a call for this to happen today, tomorrow, or next week. This is a multi-month kind of thing, if it happens at all, but that would be a measured move to the upside. Another way to measure these moves, and this is super simple technical stuff, right? Just it's an oversimplification, but it works in bull markets, and this remains a bull market, at least so far. It can abruptly end, but one could also measure the sort of that initial move higher into the consolidation phase, and then add it on top of that, and that could get us even higher. Could get us towards 900. Now again, that will likely only happen if Bitcoin makes a move. And so I don't think that's reasonable right here, right now. But again, this market has surprised me now for the better part of a year and a half in a frustrating manner on the upside, because we have no longer any price discovery in these markets. And I think ultimately that's going to be very, very sad, very risky at some point. But for now, it is what it is. And we'll talk about liquidity again. Bitcoin this morning up 3% over the past few days. In fact, over the weekend, since Friday, I should say, Bitcoin's up about 7%, which is par for the course for Bitcoin, meaning it's, this thing has a high implied volatility. So that's nothing groundbreaking, but it's nice to see that this is taking place in conjunction. And remember, one thing that I expressed concerns about last week, for those of you guys that are Inner Circle members, I was concerned, and I still am concerned about the fact that Bitcoin hasn't broken out yet, and like equities have, despite the fact that we have this global liquidity thing. And I keep talking about this chart here. Let me bring it over. It's this chart here. This is global liquidity. It's going up, and that really, I think that is why stocks are going up. I think stocks are kind of front loading things here, and that's the concern I have on the back half of maybe possibly after the election as well. So those are two things, Uber and MSTR. The third thing I want to look at is in fact, let me just quickly leave this chart here, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know. But I do want to also get to another point here. Let me just quickly bring something up. I'll quickly just put up the MSTR chart. Again, that's MicroStrategy. So have a look at this chart here. I'm going to quickly bring up something else. Okay, now before we get to the last point, I want to just quickly mention something here that we are doing this week. In fact, we're doing it tomorrow, and that is our 3-day workshop. If you haven't yet had a chance to sign up for it, I would encourage you to do so. We are going to reveal the portfolio that is one that we can profit from inflation with this, and we're going to go through specifically that. We're going to give everyone that attends a new momentum indicator that we released in April, and only people who've attended the workshop since have access to that. We are going to give people access to a Bitcoin tracker as well, which we haven't launched. We meant to launch it I believe in August. We didn't because Bitcoin hasn't done anything since then. But now I think we're starting to see that turn up. So it's 3 days. It's tomorrow the 15th, Wednesday the 16th, and Thursday the 17th for 1 hour or hour and a half each day at 11 o'clock Eastern. If you are a first timer, and it's going to reject it if you get the wrong link. So if you've never attended one of these workshops, you go to steadytradersecrets.com/first. It's $199 for all of that. You get to keep the indicator for life, the Bitcoin thing access for life. You get the portfolio, so specific portfolio we're going to give you with percentage allocations. And of course, 3 days of going through the markets together, strategy, roadmap, sector, and group rotation. All of that included. We have an amazing guest. He's the CEO of Crane Shares. He's going to come and talk to us as well on Tuesday and teach us what he's seeing from the institutional client base, front and center. And if you have here before, if you've attended either the April session or the June session, it's just $99 for you because you already have the indicator and some of the bonuses. So then you go to steadytradersecrets.com/second. Those are the two links. And I don't know if maybe Joel, if you're in here, if you could, actually, no, you can't type the links in, can you? Anyway, so that's what's going on. Let's get to the third point because we are really running out of time here. We're already almost at the 15-minute mark. Two more charts, same idea, and that is BX and Blackstone. So this is Blackstone chart. This is a private equity company. I think private equity may be in a bubble, but it could ultimately still go higher here in the meantime. What we are noticing though, and this is important from a purely technical perspective, this is a stock that has now basically rallied up to its previous all-time highs from 2021. I think it's unlikely that the stock from here blows higher immediately. I think it's going to go through a consolidation phase. So that would be my take at BlackRock as well. You can see it's pretty much the same chart. It's now marginally overcome its 2021 highs. But again, you typically don't see previous highs like this surpassed on a sustainable basis until we get consolidation. So we can certainly go a little bit higher from here, but we're likely going to have some consolidation. So I personally am not in the camp of chasing these stocks higher. I would be careful. But again, that's also the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about in the 3-day boot camp. Again, it's $199, and all the goodies and indicators and everything that you get or you get to keep for life. Same, and if you're a second-time comer, it's $99 only for the 3 days. We're going to go through the market in great detail with specific portfolio allocations that we're going to give you the actual portfolio to allocate of how we can make hopefully profit from inflation as opposed to getting our butts kicked from it. Special speaker. I mean, it's going to be an awesome 3 days. So anyway, those were the three things: MSTR, Uber, second thing, and then BlackRock and Blackstone, not to be confused with each other, or probably more in the consolidation phase here. Would be careful on chasing those. Also, and I should mention this before we go, tomorrow, of course, is Tuesday. We'll be back here tomorrow. And I want to make sure that everyone here gets access to everything that we have to offer on YouTube. So make sure you click the subscribe button so you get the alerts for our live pre-market updates. Also for our podcast, I have just interviewed a crazy amount of, a crazy good series of people over the past couple of weeks. These are all uploaded on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe so you get those updates for you. And our pop-up live sessions are only for our channel subscribers, so you actually have to subscribe to the channel so you get these updates. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and in the meantime, any questions, please let us know, and have a great start to the week. Thanks for being here.